It turns out that gun control has reared its ugly head.
You want to take over a country, you've got to disarm the people first. History proves it to be true, and now the Democrats, led by the ultra-gun-hating Sheila Jackson Lee of Texas, have introduced the most comprehensive, overreaching, unconstitutional form of gun control that I have ever seen, and I've been doing this a long time. She quietly filed her gun grab scheme exactly 1 month ago. I've got a copy of it, and if passed, it could be years before the Supreme Court rules it unconstitutional, which means you would be forced to live by its offensive and obscene mandates that would not only put the law-abiding in danger, but it would turn nearly every law-abiding gun owner into a criminal for simply exercising their constitutional rights. Let me go over some of what is in this overreaching bill. To purchase a gun, you need to apply to the federal government for a license. You will need to undergo a psychological evaluation. That's right. And complete a 24-hour training course. Now, remember, gun ownership in this country is a right protected by the Constitution. We do not ask permission from the government to exercise our First Amendment rights, even though it seems like it's headed that way sometimes. We don't require so-called journalists to take a how to be unbiased class before they are licensed to report on issues. And imagine if you needed to buy a Fourth Amendment license when the police knock on your door to search your home. Oh, I'm sorry, sir. You didn't pay for your illegal search and seizure license, so we can just come in without a warrant. You see, gun ownership is the only right that has these restrictions, has the restrictions that it does. And the reasons are because Democrats don't respect it. They don't accept it either as a valid, inalienable right granted to us by our Creator, not some anti-freedom bureaucrat. That's not who gives us this right. So this right here is an oldie but a goodie from Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee, the author of this bill.
I've held an AR-15 in my hand. I wish I had it. It is as heavy as 10 boxes that you might be moving. And the bullet that is utilized, a 50 caliber, these kinds of bullets, need to be licensed and do not need to be on the street.
I told you she does not know what she's talking about, and I also told you it's a classic. An AR-15 is not heavy. In fact, it only weighs about 6.5 pounds. That's just a tad more than a 2-liter bottle of soda. And 50 caliber bullets? AR-15s don't take 50 caliber bullets. These Marine sniper rifles do. All of us who use ARs to hunt, for sport, for self-defense use 223 ammo. And just to prove Sheila Jackson Lee is wrong, a totally uninformed rube when it comes to guns, and that's who's writing the legislation, by the way, you couldn't do this with an AR if it took 50 caliber ammo and weighed as heavy as 10 boxes.
I'm going to fire this weapon off the tip of my nose. Not broken, not bleeding, not bruised. Thank you for your time.
Oh, it's not. And I have used that example many times to prove the point that it is not this violent, hurtful, devastating gun, unless you're using it for self-defense or to hunt, of course. So Sheila Jackson Lee is proven, right there, to be devious in her assessment of AR-15s. If you're going to try to regulate or even confiscate any firearm, shouldn't you use it first? Well, of course you should. If it was actually about the gun. You see, this is about control of all of you. There are upwards of 400 million guns in America now. She and Joe Biden want all of them registered. I don't even think the government could undertake that task. Not to mention, it will have zero effect on so-called gun violence and crime. There's more to this bill, too. If passed, in order to buy or keep your guns, you need 2 references, family members, maybe associates, to vouch for you, apparently. And you have to buy insurance at a cost of $800 a year. There are penalties if you break some of these rules that could cost you up to $150,000 and 25 years in prison. This is what I'm talking about making good people into criminals.
Wow, I mean, it is crazy, because the things that are asked for there, if you decide to drive a car, you have to take a 2-part test now. I didn't, I'm old, I just took the driving test. But now you've got to take a 2-part test. There are so many things in life that you need to take a test for. And yet these fucking boneheads, think that you can get a military weapon, buy it, and there's no scrutiny.
Here's my big problem with
why
the
is
situation.
there no scrutiny?
People like Newsmax are promoting this nonsense, and then you get the opposite scale, I suppose you say.
Well, no,
CNN.
I mean that's the bill that's going in. They're asking for supervision of owning a gun. They're not trying to take the gun away.
But they're promoting it as well, aren't they? And it's going to end up, America is going to end up like, I'm sad to say it, but like Northern Ireland, that complex difference of religion based allegedly around.
No guns there,
it wasn't.
They've no guns there.
But imagine in America it will turn out like Northern Ireland with the troubles and sort of. And it's
they've already got problems, Paul. They've already got them. They've already got them.
But imagine in Northern Ireland back in the day in the 70s, everybody had guns across the board. Although
they did
not to the level it is in America.
Did.
Like
they absolutely
not to the
did.
level it was
yes,
in America.
they did. That's why it was awful.
Not to this level.
Oh my God, man! They so did.
They didn't.
They did. They absolutely did.
Well, I had somebody who knows on and talks about that. However, my point is this: it'd be so horrible to see that a country which is fantastic, like America, Northern America, United States of America, turns into a disaster because of a religion, right-wing nutters like the guy there. And why is the camera on Mike when I'm talking? Why is the camera on Mike? For his pretentious reactions to my comments. It's a serious subject.
Ireland
was horrible for everybody involved, and America's going to turn the same way.
Thank you for watching. I'm impressed. You've passed the IQ test and got this far, so let's press that button to do the last thing that helps us. It's got subscribe on it, you can't miss it, and please ring the bell for notifications of future videos.